Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Live Out Your Potential podcast series that is brought to you by Solid Minds. My name is Odile Mugabe, and I do communications and peer support coordination. I'm doing my professional internship at Solid Minds. And if it's your first time here, welcome. This is where we have meaningful conversation. We talk more about mental health, well-being, human connection, and so on. And if it's not your first time, welcome back. We're happy to have you with us. So before we dive right into the conversation of today, I would like to welcome our guests of today. Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Ineza Wamoro Adriana, and I am a student. Currently, I'm a student, master's student in the Global Health Delivery at UJC. And basically about my profession, I'm more in project management, and I'm in climate change enthusiast and One Health. And most importantly, I am an advocate for mental well-being and women's empowerment.
Thank you so much. I'm Samuel Adud, and I'm a student at the University of Rwanda, and currently doing food science and technology. And also, I am the founder of Dream Led Youth Fellowship, mental health space for a student at the University of Rwanda, Busogo campus. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you so much. I too, my name is Eric Chuti, and I'm a student at African Leadership University. And I'm currently specializing in policy and advocacy and wildlife conservation, and I'm also an advocate for mental health at CLOS, and I'm the communication leads at the ULAB Club at the African Leadership University, and I've had more interesting people here who are founders. I can't wait to what we have.
I'm actually happy to have you all here. And in your introductions, I've had clubs, ULAB Club, Dream Led Initiative. And actually, that's the reason why we're here. We're going to talk about one of the most and very important conversation, which is peer support. And we're going to learn and to know what peer support is. Like for someone who have no idea about peer support, we're going to learn and to know more about peer support, right? So in 2023, Solid Minds did a survey asking students like who do they go to when they feel overwhelmed, when they are sad, when they are stressed, when they have a lot going on, when they feel emotionally low. And among the many options we had, the two most options were, the first one was I pray to God, but the second one was I go to my best friends. I talk to my best friend, I talk to the person that I trust the most. And actually that's how peer support came into existence. So today we're going to know, first of all, what is peer support?
Thank you so much. For me, personally, I feel like peer support is simply human connections, emotional without judgment. So, and that is what I can take in a simple term as a peer support.
True, I agree. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, actually, not going far from what he said, peer support, it's as simple as it sounds. It's peers supporting each other. It's not like a profession. You just need to be there to listen to your colleague if they're having hard times. Mainly, peer support is about people who are doing the same thing, who are experiencing the same thing. For instance, like me and you, we could support each other as peers because we are in the same age range. We are all students, we are going through the same struggle. So it doesn't have to be something huge, or you are a profession, you have been mastering it throughout your academics. It's just something that you can train yourself, read about, and then perform it.
I see. Thank you so much for sharing. Eric, when it comes to you, when you hear a word peer support, what comes to your mind?
I think I won't go far from what my colleagues just shared. To me, peer support, as the name implies, it's peer support. It's to me, it's any help or encouragement that's given by people to one another, but then there has to be a commonality, a shared experience or situation, common grounds. As Adriana just pointed it out, you're in the same situation, you're close to each other, there is friendship all around, there is connection, human connection, there is interaction in one way or another. So to me, peer support comes within the commonality and shared ground of people who are close to each other to support each other emotionally, practically, or even physically in any situation or encounters that they may face.
I see. Actually, thank you for sharing that. Now the peer support initiatives we have, or clubs we have, they're basically in universities, and we have one at UGH. I think that's the only one we have in Rwanda that has most of university students and also master's students as well. So I want to know, actually, how can one become a peer supporter? How can I, Mugabe, become a peer supporter? Let's say if it's my first time to be on that campus, how can I become a peer supporter?
Yeah, just to jump in, being a peer supporter, first of all, you have to be willing and open-minded, because you can't just jump in. Yes, you could have the will to support someone, but the way you do it also might either be a double-edged sword. You might think that you're helping, but actually you're doing more harm. So you need at least have some training. Like, I'm so thankful for the training we had from Solid Minds. When we were beginning our academic journey, they gave us a training about psychological support. And they taught us how you can be a good listener, how you don't have to be giving advice right away. Some people just need someone to hear them. Like, you just want to lay out your emotions. You don't need someone to give you like advice right away. So you need at least to have like a notion about active listening, supporting someone, giving someone the space to feel comfortable. So that's where you can start from. It might be hard because we are not all born with that skill. Yeah, you have to try the first time, you fail, and then you learn for the next person.
I see. I think being a peer supporter starts with you yourself, right? When I think most of the people has experienced this kind of experience, being new at the campus, right? You be like, I want friends, I want to connect with people, I don't want to be here alone, right? So the more you connect with people, you get to learn more about them and how better you can support each other, right? And actually, that's how you can give or be a peer supporter. Yes. Give them support, give one another support, as you were saying, right? I was once a student. I was once a student, and I know how it feels to go through a lot and you actually don't know who to talk to. You don't have someone that you really, really trust that you can go to. But through all that, I was also part of one of the peer support clubs at ALU. And through the entire process, I've learned a lot. But I want to know, I think all of us went through the same experience. I want to know, how did you get yourself, how did you find yourself into one of the peer support clubs? And I'm also with people who actually initiated peer support clubs. I'm with leaders, actually. I want to know, so for you, probably it was your first time to hear a word peer support. I know that we used with clubs, initiatives, but peer support, whatever, it was kind of a new term to us. I want to understand, when you get to know peer support, how comes that, how did you initiate it? How did you initiate one? And what made you initiate it? And what made us actually join it?
Yeah, actually, I want to first jump in from where Adrian stopped, and that is about peer support. And when we talk of peer support, it's just a sense of compassion and having the empathy toward others. And when it comes to peer support and maybe just starting a peer support club. And I remember my first time coming to Rwanda, and when we first came, they start with they were giving us families. So they gave us families, we went to different families as internationals and we joined them. And that sense felt like, wow, you are supported around. So when I went to the campus and then I see all around, it was like, some students around me, my friends, others, I see they struggle in silence and they don't really find the support and they don't really find anyone to tell whatever the story you have, because we have those communities where we feel like we should just keep our stories to ourselves and we shouldn't give that side of emotion that would feel like you're just giving out your secret. So I felt like, after I attended one peer support session, that was in 2024, they were celebrating the peer support celebration on the 24th of October, something of that kind. After that, I felt like, oh, there's so much about peer support, and I went back. I was like, let me create the same community here, and that is how peer support came in. And it was just on having the community where we understand each other, where we listen to each other, where those like part of the my fellow student would just have that non-judgmental space and to just give out whatever they have in mind and just support each other whenever they're going through a lot. So yeah, that's how it started.
I understand. Thank you so much for sharing. Actually, from what you said, I heard that you went in an event and then you came up with an idea. You'd be like, we need this at our campus, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. Also, I would say, I don't know why, but most of the time I find myself in environments of high achievers. Maybe it's the universe doing the thing, but sometimes in the past I used to take life too seriously. Maybe because I'm a first child, first grandchild, first daughter, things like those. You know, you put yourself a pressure like I have to be serious, achieve many things. But in the past 2 years, I tried to start working on myself, my mental health, not being too hard on myself. So that's when like opportunities like Solid Minds and MasterCard at UTHE, when they came, yeah, I jumped to the opportunity. I was like, oh, say no more. I can help with starting the peer support. And I promised myself to always be open-minded. I didn't know, yes, peer support, you can try to define it, but understanding the essence of it, I tried to learn, ask people what it is. And then, yeah, I thought it's a good idea because like students, we really, the academic, I would say no shade, but the academic environment, it's all about when you're burnt out, that's when they say that you are working hard. Yes.
I know that.
And yeah, we forget our families, we forget our friends, we no longer have fun, we are just cramming books. So incorporating that element of supporting each other, you go to your friends, say, hey, actually I'm struggling, like I can't memorize. Yeah. So it really felt, it resonated with me. So that's why I tried to put some effort. Yeah.
I understand. Thank you so much for sharing. I remember the first time you reached out and you're like, I think we also need a peer support at our campus. Yeah. Eric, what made you join You Love Club?
I think I'm in a funders society. I need to.
Oh, yeah.
All these are funders. Me personally joined ALU, and when I was a freshman, that's when I reached at ALU. So my home area is not in Kigali, so I reached at ALU. I didn't have any person to talk to, and being kind of introverted was something very difficult for me. So I wanted a community that I could belong in that's not judgmental. So I think at ALU we normally have what we call club fairs, where clubs just showcase what they do at the beginning of every trimester. And then I was just in a club fair, moving around the stations of different clubs, explaining what I do. And I crossed You Love Club, and when I asked what I do was more of, peer supporting, and I would look at the values they have, being non-judgmental, and that's what I really valued and looked into. So I would join basically because I wanted the community that could be hospitable for me and also welcoming, not judgmental, and I could belong in it, I could find a family in it. So that helped me through my whole academic journey until now, from the first trimester being a freshman to being an incoming sophomore to being a graduate to become, so it was a whole journey for me to being part of this society that's supportive, that I can tell people what I'm facing, that can support me beyond even the extracurricular activities, but also my academics. So it was something that really helped me throughout the academic journey.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Actually, the very first time I went at ALU, I had no friends, of course, and I usually am this person who wants to have people around, and I felt like I could actually go and call my friends and bring them, and for me just to stay with them and spend time with them. And that was one of the best things that pushed me to be in one of the peer support clubs at ALU, because it was a community of people that are doing things that I'm interested in. And they used also to have fun, games. They used to do different activities. They'll be like, if I join them, through those activities, I'll become friends with them. And I remember this time, actually, I got a problem with my grades. And I was like, I don't know who to go to. I don't know who to ask, because sometimes it's not easy, right? So I went in the peer support group we had. It is actually Refugee Youth Change Makers. And I asked one of my good friends, we were now friends, and I was like, I'm confused. I don't know what to do with my grades. And he was like, he connected me to someone and it went well, right? So I was like, if I wasn't a part of this team, I wouldn't get the support that I got that time. And actually, that's how we create friends, being in a community that actually cares, that, wants to help. Yeah. So I also want to know, or want our followers to know, what activities do those peer support clubs at campuses do? Do they just talk about mental health? Do they come and sit and be like, today we're going to learn more about caring for one another? What actually do they do activities-wise?
Yes, starting for us, the club that we initiated, it's very young, it's still a baby. We started in January, so we have been operating for 4 months for now. But luckily, before we start creating an implementation plan, we consulted someone from Solid Mind. Solid Mind, shout out to Solid Mind, they really supported, they gave us guidance. They told us we don't have to make it academic oriented, having workshop. We need to have fun. So mainly we can balance it. So that's when with the committee we brainstormed things that people like since many either millennials or Gen Zs. So we try to find a balance. We incorporate the workshops. For instance, this month is dedicated to mental wellness. We have workshops where we can raise awareness. We also have fun activities. We go outdoor. Some people strive when they're outdoor. That's when they show their the other side character that we don't see. Others like to share. That's when we incorporated social media. People like to share quotes. People like to tell the world what they are thinking about. Yeah, some people are shy, but when they're in front of camera, it's the inverse. So we also incorporated giving back. In upcoming activities, we also go to high school students to teach them about mental wellness, because in our Rwandan context, it's not really something that everyone grabs quickly. So going to those young people to teach them, yes, you are the last in class, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah. So we are still finding a way to operate. It's the pilot, so we adjust as we go.
And adding up to Adrian, so I think the peer support, many people take it like it is somewhere where you go and discuss about the sadness, about more of what mental health is. But I think it's just somehow different from that. It's more than that. So it is just where you just go there, feel comfortable to discuss a lot of different stuff. For instance, for us in this mental health month, we are doing a mental health football. Like we play football, and that is when you go to other clubs like Sanga Institute, where they are doing marathon for mental health, and a lot. Like we just be there, we discuss, we laugh. It's just like a community. We just come here, we play, we do anything that we feel like is going to make us feel good. And for us there, we have what they call Worry-Free Monday. So, and Worry-Free Monday is normally like, Monday, the nature of Monday. Yeah. So it's just that day where you are just mentally covered. So on every evening of Worry-Free Monday, we just come together, we discuss, we do storytelling about our days, and we have some cards where you just ask someone just normal question, and we just play. So that is it about the session of peer support.
I see. I remember when I went to visit Dreamland at Busogo for the very first time, I think it was this year, I loved something about Vegas. Sure. I loved the way they created a safe space. Everyone is able to share what they're going through due to that Vegas. Is it a motto?
Yeah, it's called like what is in Vegas, when in Vegas. So what we do in Vegas remain in Vegas, and that is like Los Angeles, like Las Vegas. So Las Vegas is known for doing a lot of bad thing in the USA. So people say that when we come to Vegas, we meet in Vegas in the club or somewhere there. Whatever we do in this club remain here in this club. So, and that is the same thing, like whatever we were doing it, like whatever we do in Vegas, remain in Vegas. The room where we do the peer support is called Vegas. And that is because we just want to introduce this confidentiality. So when someone they speak there, but no one is taking it out, like maybe the secret, maybe something that is sensitive. So we keep it in Vegas, and we tell, maybe we are doing the awareness, we tell other awareness, but personal stories, we keep them in Vegas. So that is like whatever we say in Vegas, remain in Vegas. Yeah, we call our room Vegas.
I love that. Very interesting, actually. The very first time I heard it, I was like, oh, wow. So actually that created a safe space. I heard that everyone is able to share, and also a part of the activities, because we're talking about Dreamled from Busogo, but also we have several clubs at University of Rwanda. We have one at Huye, which is called Sangishuti. We have another one at Rukara. It is also called Sangishuti. Due to that survey that we did, and we found out that most of the people, when they feel overwhelmed, they go to their friends and they're like, I think we can call this initiative Sangishuti, go to a friend. And I loved the way you created your club. All the peer supports created a safe space for everyone to share and actually have fun, worry-free Mondays and so on. I would also like to hear about You Love. What are the activities?
So at You Love, it's basically like what other people just pointed out. But mainly for You Love, I think we have a lot of activities. We have weekly sessions. However, we go extra mile in the weekend where we have to join maybe a running club and do sports together, do campaigns together. Like this month around, we're going to be having some running club activities together with other collaborations and partnerships. But basically in You Love, we do have what we call group therapy through the support circles, whereby you can be matched to a friend over a week, and you can be able to be a friend to them and also speak to them. And I love the idea from Dreamland, where they have this Vegas idea. I think we can incorporate it. So at You Love, we have a lot of activities mainly. We also have what we call the menthol and pad drive awareness. So whereby maybe if it's March, we have what we call pad drive, where we donate pads to different people around the community. But then we go beyond supporting peers. We also have what we call debates, and we share ideas together. We also have what we call academic mentors, where we support our students who are joining us. Maybe they just new with us, they want to know how things are going at the university. So you're matched to a person that's currently in uni. Maybe if it's a sophomore, they're going to help you as a freshman. So we want to build a system or an environment whereby we don't just burn out. We want to support each other throughout the journey. As I started saying, we have common grounds. We are all school going, so we want to support each other in what we share as a commonality. So we go beyond, being in rooms where we do icebreakers and laugh a lot, but we also support each other. We want to uplift each other. But then other sides, we do even have what we call color face. So we want to laugh as well. We want to build this environment outside coding, outside machine learning, and outside of back end and front end. So we want to build an environment where people come and find themselves. They can come and laugh. They can come and refresh. They can come and, be it what they can't be when they're serious about the academics. So that's what we do at You Love. However, it's very flexible. Every week, I think we brainstorm something we want depending on the program of the university and what's currently happening. So I think right now we have, we normally collaborate and partner with different people. So if we want something from you, sometimes we collaborate with rap clubs that do music, because we want that week to be for music. We want people who are joining You Love in the session to be able to, sing a lot and dance, and have all this vibe. We want to curate vibes, Gen Z led. So it's something we normally brainstorm weekly. We want to create an environment that's safe, that's very welcoming, and also helps people go beyond the burnout of academics.
Thank you so much.
So, and actually, to add up to his point, is there's one activity I saw in ULab. I just saw it on status, and there's this way they just sit, they put the mats down, they sit down there, and then they discuss when they're just together. Like it feels like so connected. They're so connected. And at one point I felt like there was a session we did online, and then I was telling them like, we want to go to Bigogwe. When we go to Bigogwe, we sit together, we feel connected. You know, ordinary things, they just make a difference. So I really like that.
Yeah, speaking about that, I had to point it out. So when we're going to make a setup for classroom, we want it to be different than a normal setup of classes. We use beanbags and cushions. What we want people to come and feel the environment that's different, you know. The class arrangement normally has tables and chairs, so we want it to look a little bit different, a little bit more cozy for people to come and join and, you know, refresh a bit, you know, a different environment that's more welcoming to them. So we start with setup, creating a different environment that people can come and feel safe. So that's what we mainly focus on when we also setting up for any session that we're having.
I actually wanted to come to life in real experiences, right? I want to know which activity was like you liked the most, was very therapeutic. You'd be like, this one.
I think for us, most of the time is like, we had these card games where we just we had different questions inside the cards. We would just give everyone a card. We normally do it as icebreaker. So, and then everyone would just like, you say your name, and then you just introduce yourself. Like you introduce your name, and then you answer the question. And most of the questions are like mind games on mental health. So, and about the day, like normal day activities. And it felt like we're just very connected. Someone is saying how the day was and how it affects you mentally or physically around. So, and that is the only session we always feel like that is the core one. So this is the main every time. And we do it normally as icebreaker. So it's just, effective.
The Vegas session.
I see.
I think you can go. Okay, I can go first. I think one of the big memories that we do have at ULab is the Love Week we had currently during the Valentine's. We had like a whole list of 4 activities. The first one was pop the balloon. So we had pop the balloon. So we had pop the balloon. And we also had another one called the pink courtroom. So the pink courtroom. So we collaborated with the Student Representative Council at ADS. We had to make it really big. So we even increased the number of people that we welcomed. So I think it stuck in my mind because I saw people acting different, you know, pop the balloon. I could sit and take the exploring, but then when I saw it on campus, it was something that made me very, you know, excited. And then something that stood out to me during the pink courtroom was, you know, people raising what I think is a red flag to them. You know, something you think is normal to other person, it's a red flag. So the pink courtroom was very exciting. So I think the Love Week showed us that we should be having it every year. Every year it comes, we shouldn't skip it. So it's something that made me very excited. And then it brought vibes at campus. A lot of people attended. I didn't know people would be very much into the Love Week, so we just casted it out. We didn't expect a big number. The number tripled more than, it was like 150 attendees, and we normally get like 60. So I was like, this is something people are really excited about, and they want to hear more about it. They have more ideas. They can brainstorm around it, evolve around love and everything, the themes around love.
Wow. Can we borrow? Pop the balloon. Yeah. I don't know why we didn't think about, but that's something that.
Yeah, and the pink courtroom. What do you think is a red flag or what's a green light for you?
For me, one activity that stuck in my head, because we created like a bond. We had a movie night with the bean bags. The bean bags always do the trick. So we had a movie night, but we also had submissions. Like we were in the movie with laptops. So we're watching the Anaconda. So you could see someone on laptop, and then
But at the same time,
a scary scene. They jump with the laptop. So it was so nice. We all shared the same experience. We had submissions, but people really showed up because it was like a tight semester. People had a lot, but they still wanted to get to know people because time passes quickly. You find yourself, boom, you are graduating. You don't make time to connect with people. So, yeah, people were willing to come with their laptops. Yeah.
I see. Actually, regardless of having tight schedules and a lot of things to work on, you managed also to have fun.
Yes.
All right. And also, I loved the pink courtroom. I think I saw things related to guilty. Was that a part of the that session?
Yeah, it was part of the session. So, we could make scenarios, and both girls and boys could be holding different papers of what they think should be linked to the scenario that's given, so they could just read it out loud depending on the actors that are in front, and then someone could say, we're guilty, that sounds guilty to me. Yeah, like it's something we should pass over, so we couldn't get it as something of a normality within the society. We should go beyond that kind of mindset.
I think we are also sharing the best practices. I think you've learned something
I'm taking
new.
home Vegas, even the Monday wall.
You're taking Vegas at ULAB, I see. Adut, you being an international student, I want to hear or to understand if peer support actually has done something for you, if it deducted loneliness. As an international student, I want to know how having peer support feels like.
Yeah, actually, I like the question, and I first have to reflect back from where I started. Like, first of all, when I first got the Mastercard Foundation Scholar, I think this is so much personal, but then when I first got the Mastercard Foundation scholarship, I was kind of mentally struggling, and then I have this kind of social anxiety and pressure about what the future look like. You feel lonely, and you just feel like there's nothing you can see in the future, the pessimistic. So, but then when I came here, and I also told you something earlier that we were introduced into different families. So those families were just acting like fear. Someone is your daddy, someone is your mommy, and felt like you have this kind of people around you that they really supported you, they make you feel like you belong. So, and it feels good because when I thought I would just be around and then I would just be thinking about the family. Sometimes I think about my family, not the family here, but my family back, a lot of struggle internally. But I got those fears around, I got those people here in Rwanda that are like friends. They just make me forget where I come from so much. They just make me feel at home, feel like this is a community and this is a new life, and you just have to get used to them. And that is where I really appreciate the power of peer support. So it has become something that is more than just a community for me. It has become part of life. Yeah, I really, it's really something that has changed a lot of things in my life. Yeah.
Thank you for trusting us with that. I also want to know, Adriana, as a master's student, I know it is very demanding. How do you balance, academics and also well-being and being a part of peer support and also being a leader as well?
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, the cop-out mechanism is peer support. Like, because master's students, like, we leave our jobs just to go study, follow your passion, because it's at that point where you know what you want and you're willing to pursue it, regardless of the stakes that are on the table. So, yes, you are passionate, but still, you need to survive, you need to live, maybe start planning for your family. So, surprisingly, when you are stressed, you're doing assignments, and it's a lot on your mind, on your plate, and you talk to someone, yes, they also have similar issues. They also left their jobs, and they're like, you know what, but no one died from going to school. We are not the first ones, we are not the last ones who are going through this similar experience. So, and surprisingly, you are okay because someone is like, actually, I was going through the same thing. Like, I was having the same thing on my mind. So, peer support has been really a very huge support because just by talking about it, and you don't need to have like a solution right now, but you just need to calm your mind to talk to someone who is going through the same thing. So I would say, yeah, it's a rough journey, but with friends, with people whom you are supporting each other emotionally, it has been helping. Yeah.
I see. With people with the same journey, with the same struggle and all that, it's very helping and very, it's actually a relief.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's not only about doing different activities or having a company, but it's actually learning, more about learning. We've learned a lot in peer support. Personally, I've learned that empathy. I've learned how I can create a safe space, right? I also want to know what have you learned so far in peer support? You being a part of peer support, I know that you've learned a lot. I want us to share, like, what have you learned so far?
I think so far is learning about leadership with her titles. Like, you're just a leader, and what it means by leader is just like you have that compassion. You have that empathy, like you just said, and you can just be that kind of person that is with someone. You are leading them. You are just being part of their life. So, and I feel like that is more of what it feels like to be part of the peer support so far.
Thank you so much for sharing. So far, also, Solid Minds has invested in these peer support clubs in a way of giving you help and training you different capacity building sessions. I would also like to share what we have learned from those activities.
Yeah, I think they are quite interconnected. You see, like when we talk about what we have learned, and first of all, we just have to know peer support, natural, like how to have that active listening. Yeah. So, and when we come to learning from Solid Mind has been one of the people guiding us so much. Like, Solid Mind has been tireless in guiding us. So, and when we talk about active listening, we say, like, how can you boost that active listening while doing how can you boost that empathy? That has been the psychological first aid that we have been getting from the Solid Mind. And that is what the same thing that we try to boost our understanding, our knowledge, and then we also support other peers around us.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, thank you. So I won't go far. I think I will start with the first question about being a leader within the peer support groups. So first of all, it comes with more responsibility where you're in a position to implement. You're supposed to implement for what your people need to be experiencing in the moment. So you start from ideating to, bring it to practical ways and implement it and then follow up so that it creates the impact you wanted it to create. So I think to me it has been very enriching. It gave me experience that I can be able to do this. I can be able to run a project and from scratch, and then it yields a productivity at the end of the day. So to me, it has been very empowering. It made me confident enough. And then I think I will go with the second question. Could you mind reminding me the second question?
What we have learned in peer support.
So I've learned a lot before from the psychological first aid training with Solid Minds. Before you could tell me a scenario, you could approach me, and depending on the case you bring to me, I could be very judgmental in a way to even express it somehow. But then when I learned the 3 L's, I think listen, look, and link, I think something like that, I really got empowered. So I had a whole look of what I need to follow, the steps I need to follow for me to be able to understand a situation that someone is passing through. And then at the end of the day, it helps me gather my thoughts all together for me to give you a genuine response that will help you before I even tell you to go to a therapist or even a psychologist, depending on the case. Right now, I'm able to know the level you're on, and I can be able to give you a recommendation that goes beyond my support because I'm limited to peer supporting. However, I'm not a therapist, neither a psychologist. So it has given me a whole link of people's situations, the boundaries they have, the stages they're on, and how I can refer them depending on how they've approached me and how the cases are. So it's been mind-opening, and it's been very experiential in a way that it gives me ideas and knowledge daily. It's not a linear trajectory. It comes with a lot of things at once. It comes with responsibility, with leadership, with empathy acting, with emotional intelligence, which I forgot to point out, very, very variable in this context. Emotional intelligence has been very key, has been practical in me being a leader within the peer support groups, has been very experiential.
There are some initiatives that were created with the help of Solid Minds, but there are also others that we collaborated after. And what you were talking about is how they train you, they give you different capacity building sessions, so you'll be able to support others as well. You'll be able to learn, to know, and after knowing, that's when you'll be able to help and give proper help to others as well. So jumping from this, I mean, we are now in an AI era where everyone is turning to AI whenever they feel stressed, overwhelmed, you know. Everyone is turning to ChatGPT, you know, a lot of AI that I don't even know. But I've also heard that there are, you know, those AI that a person can talk to. I want us also to talk about human-to-human connection. Does it even still matters as used to matter in the past, or we should continue with this AI, ChatGPT, whatever? I want us to discuss if AI has replaced human connection at all. What do you think about this?
Yes, I think AI, however much it can give you pieces of advice, however much it can, you know, advise you, there is still a lot of human connection, because some people get healed through being listened by different people around. There is a human connection that people bring in, the emotions. They want to be understood, they want to be heard, they want to be filled, they want to be, they want someone to experience what they're feeling. There is empathy that AI cannot bring into the table. And also, however much AI can be around, it can help you advise, but it can't, it can be replicated in a way that it cannot just, bring you the experience that a human being can give you. If maybe you understand what I'm telling you, it can give you a lot of ideas. It can, understand your situation. It can give you a bunch of notions that can help you understand your situation, but it can't relate with you. It can't follow up on you. It can check in with you like a person does. So I can say, I think what we need is, using human connection and AI to make sure we're giving a prompted decision that's valuable, that's more impactful to the person that's getting the peer support. So I think AI can just be undervalued. It can't be depreciated. It can be used as support to make sure that human connection is doing its best in delivering what it should be putting on the table.
Yeah, I think the same thing to Eric. I think the AI. One thing people don't really get is, I don't want to be hard on AI. It's our uncle.
It's okay. Feel free.
One thing about we don't understand about AI is that AI is just about words, and the peer support is all about human connection, like Rick just said. And sometimes there are words can be forgotten. It is the truth. Words can be forgotten, but how that person was connected to you, how he was behaving, his emotion towards you, and how he was understanding you. That is what people remember when we understand more about how we connect as peers, and we ask AI. I will tell you, like, you have to be this, you have to be that, but then you are just going to forget, you are just going to try, but you will forget. But when you have that emotional interrelations, being interconnected with person, like how we are just talking, it is quite different. It is quite different, because what we are going to remember later, it is how that person was just emotionally connected to you, not what the word he was saying or she was saying. So yeah, I think that is the difference.
Yes, I also think AI is somehow like a competitor of peer support. So, yeah,
That's true.
I think that's why we're even advocating for it, because I also tried it. Honestly, I tried. Sometimes you're in a situation, you need advice quickly, and you're like, and the issue I have with AI is that it always has an answer. Like, how comes you always have answers? Like, sometimes you need to talk to someone and see those facial expressions where they're like, really? Do you think? But AI always has an answer. It's like, you need to prioritize your mental health. You need to do this. You got this. You are powerful. So it boosts your confidence to an abnormal level. So I think it's also really supportive. Like I would say, I don't see myself going in a world without AI, but I think we need to be skeptical. Yeah, we need to find the balance. Like, remember that nothing will replace an emotional connection with someone, a human. And it is hard. It is hard compared to how you build a connection with AI, because with someone you're wondering, are they going to judge me? You are wondering how you are going to navigate it, what you're going to say. But with AI, you're like, no, I want this and this and this. And it does what you want. So I think in one way, in some sense, it's not healthy. So I think we need to always find a way. In the weekends, go meet with people. Yeah.
Additionally to what you just pointed out, I don't think AI can never replace human beings, because it has to be prompted. Now imagine if you don't know how to prompt AI, the response it's going to give you. It can't replace humans acting as peer supporters. It gives generic statements. It doesn't give personal feedback, you know. If I say generic statements, it gives something random from the experience it has. So imagine if you haven't encountered your situation, it's going to give you something that's different. It gives misleading information if you don't know how to prompt it. And we have different levels and skills of using AI. So to however much we can be interested in artificial intelligence, it cannot replace human beings. I still say it can complement human beings to deliver quality. Then we could rely on it, because it can replace human beings. It can complement.
Yeah, and then to add up is just on the side of the connections, and I want to say that peer support most of the time is about like us sharing experience. Maybe maybe we are talking about breakups. So Odile has a breakup somewhere, and then she would come to me, told me like, I broke up with a long-time boyfriend of mine, and now I'm really going through emotional exhaustion. So, and you see, when you are talking to AI in that situation, AI is just going to give just no more information, just an abstract. So, but then the human connection, me telling like, I have ever gone through the same, and it was really hard, but it's like, that is how life it is. So you are not alone. So AI cannot give that information, and how AI is going to give that information is not really connecting. So that is where I feel like there's quite a difference between AI and the human connections.
True. As you said, there is nothing that will replace human connection, right?
Sure.
And it's always about finding, balancing, I guess, finding a balance. AI is good when it's used in a good way, by the way. So I would like us also to, as we come to the end of this conversation, as a peer supporter, what would you tell someone who is struggling silently? As a student, a student who is struggling silently, what would you tell them?
Actually, most of the time, what we tell people is just like, you are not alone. You are really not alone in the struggle, and we all have the same experience. And there's one thing we have forgotten previously, is that most of peer supporters is we have had the same experience before. So, and when we see a student going through the same, we say that I have ever been there. So, and you are not alone, and we are always there. I remember someone was like, I am in class, but I'm just around people in class, but I am not really emotionally connected. I'm not really a close friend to anyone. I'm just like, you are classmate, but you are not my friend. So I feel like some students are really struggling while around people. You are in crowd, but you are really alone mentally. So, and those students, when you get a peer supporter or a peer support club where you feel in a community where you belong, so you will get to realize that you are not alone in this, and we all have that one at least once in a lifetime.
Yeah. Also, what I would add on, I would tell the person that it's just a season. Like, everyone has a season to struggle, and it ends like on a random Wednesday at 2 p.m. You are like finally good. Maybe someone told you something, or you achieved something, small wins. So I would advise them to allow those emotions to feel them, and not feel like they are weird or they don't know how to manage. Because everyone, even like something I forgot to tell you about doing a master's degree, it's like everyone is busy and everyone looks like they're doing something, they're achieving something in life, and you feel like they are doing well. But deep down, yes, there is something we used to say at Kepler, like you have to fake it until you make it. Yeah, so everyone, even if someone is laughing, be sure that somewhere, somehow they are struggling. So it's just a season. And also try to go out. You can be weird. Some people feel weird. They're in a restaurant alone. Just take a risk for the sake of the plot and see where it takes you. Make a friend, randomly try. It might not work, but again, keep trying. You don't need to have a whole class as your friend, but try to have that one person you can talk to, so that you don't stay in your room, working on your assignment, you submit, and then you go to bed or watch a movie for the entire week. So try to find someone. You don't need to be best friends, but like a small emotional connection can help you. Feel relieved.
I understand.
Yeah, and that's very important. For me, I could tell them that they are the priority in their lives. They are the biggest headlines in their lives. So everything they do wrong will affect them. So you don't need to focus on your past experiences. Adjust. If you're betrayed in the past, you told something to someone, they spoke it out loud. Please adjust. You're the priority. Your mental health matters more than anything. So try to open up. As you've had the importance of peer support, please reach out to someone. Make them understand you and get feedback from them and make sure you apply it, because you want to live a life and you should live a life that you deserve. You need to live a life where you're productive, where you're not having any challenges, where you're not struggling, and that's by living out what your struggles look like and every complicated situation, leaving it aside and stepping up, rising to any occasion that you may encounter. So you're the priority, step up and rise to the occasion and, reach out, seek for support, and then excel. We all look into big visions and big dreams and big goals. So make sure you drop everything that pulls you down and make sure you rise to the occasion.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Actually, what Ineza said reminded me that we need to check on those people that we think they are strong. Those people that are always smiling, those people, hey, we need to check on them. A lot is going on, right? So as we come to the end of this conversation, one thing becomes clear. People need people, even in this world that is filled of pressure, a lot of schedules and all that. People need people, right? And I would like to express gratitude to our guests. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your insights, and probably you'll come back, right?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much too.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you so much. This was Solid Minds Live Out Your Potential podcast. See you. Thank you for tuning in.